Get me out the screen.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Another episode, Sunday Night Hoops, breaking down all the top teams in each division. A lot of great playoff matchups, man. Some games to keep an eye on. But first off, shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate everybody that's been tuning in and watching. Like you see with the comments below, man, we're able to pop the comments up there, so it's a big collective. I guess a collective show, with everybody adding some stuff to the show. Of course, Coach and I are going to be going back and forth talking about our thoughts, but we really appreciate everyone tuning in and commenting below, giving us some feedback, some information that we may or may not know. And we all, as a collective whole, can continue to grow our game. Like we like to say, man, our girls hoop. Um, but without further ado, man, second round playoffs up tomorrow. It's crazy. Whenever you look at it, we're a week away from top 28. You're about 12 and 13 days away from state championship trophies being held out. So that's seems like just yesterday the season had just started, and now here we are with 12 and 13 days left. A lot of teams got eliminated last Thursday, and some more teams will get eliminated on Monday. But with that comes pressure builds diamonds, man. So, Coach Kendrick, man, appreciate you for joining us, man. How you doing this afternoon? Before we go ahead and jump into
Playoffs,
this.
playoffs. We're good, man. We good. We're just wrapping up practice, but playoffs.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. So we're gonna jump into it, man. We'll get it up and roll in Division One right out the gate. Make sure we can see that good, clear, good to go. Again, coaches in this division, so he'll kind of, I guess, take a back seat here. Feel free to add anything that you may or may not want to say. But up first, man, we got Walker and Fountain Blue. Walker had to bye first round. They're obviously the best team in this division and the best team in the state, in my opinion. They are getting votes for top 25 team in the nation, according to Max Preps, and rightfully so. I don't think this is the most talented Walker team, but I do think this is the deepest Walker team. It's just a well-oiled machine. You've seen several different starting lineups. I would be surprised. Somebody can comment below. I wouldn't be surprised if they've thrown out 6, maybe even 7 different starting lineups. And to see them still undefeated at 30-something-0 and rolling into the playoffs. Unfortunate, Fountain Blue did get the upset win. Shout out to those young ladies. You know, we had the crystal ball with Destrehan. Fountain Blue came on the road to Destrehan, got that big 7-point win. Unfortunately, they run into Walker, which is going to be a tough draw there. I think Walker easily advances. Then it's going to be Houghton and Thibodeau. You're in the same district as Houghton. I'm sure you're a big fan of them. I've seen Thibodeau live in person. I think they do make a bad matchup for Houghton. We did call the Thibodeau upset over Neville last round, so it looks like they're going to have to go on the road again, back up to Shreveport and take on Houghton. I personally have Thibodeau with an ability to upset that team. Houghton, I guess I'm putting you on upset alert at this point. I think Thibodeau has all the pieces, especially at a 24 seed, to somehow sneak into the quarterfinals. Then we got Parkway versus North Shore. So we had game of the week last week was North Shore at Hineville. Cherie Spencer and North Shore Company went on the road. They defeated Hineville, and now they get to draw the defending state champs. So they got to go on the road, take on Parkway, where it's going to be a tough draw. Chloe Larry, Dakota Howard, Baker, all that crew. It's going to be a tough draw for North Shore. I think Parkway is going to easily advance there. Just going to be too much to handle. Spencer's going to give it her all, but just not going to have enough pieces there. Then I really like this next matchup in Santa Maria Southside. I think Santa Maria has enough to defeat Southside. I think Southside's a slight favorite here, but if Ryan plays really well at Santa Maria, stays out of foul trouble, I think that's going to be my key. If Ryan can stay out of foul trouble for Santa Maria, I think that's going to give them an opportunity. I think Southside's a little deeper than people realize. You know the big dogs, but they've got some other key pieces around them. A nice sprinkle of really talented underclassmen and really solid seniors. They'll probably have 4, 5, maybe even 6 kids that will play college basketball that will touch the court tomorrow night. So I think Southside pulls that one off. And we'll go ahead and jump down to the bottom half of the bracket. Mandeville, they were on a bye. They're sitting there. They're going to take on EA. EA with a big upset over Chalmette. A lot of people were talking about that one. That was a huge upset. EA goes on the road, defeats Chalmette. They're going to run into Mandeville, though. I just think Mandeville is just too skilled. They don't turn the ball over much, especially having these next couple of games at home. They shoot the ball extremely well. When you're at home, you shoot it a little bit better. I think Mandeville is going to rock and roll there. Then we go to our LGR Live game of the week. Ponchatoula versus Zachary. Rematch of last year's quarterfinal game where Ponchatoula went on the road and defeated Zachary at that one. This game could really go either way. Zachary's probably a slight favorite. We went ahead and went with Crystal Ball, went with Ponchatoula again in the upsets. Same place, same result type thing. I think it's just going to be a great game. Definitely whenever I was looking at all the games, there's so many good games, but that one just kind of stood out a little bit more. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. Ponchatoula travels extremely well. Zachary's been wanting to get over this hump against Ponchatoula since last year. So, again, you get an opportunity to kind of redo in sports. We talked about that last time. You don't get that opportunity very often. So, they're going to get the opportunity to redo. And I think Zachary can definitely take advantage of that. And then, Zachary, Ponchatoula versus Mandeville, either one of those, that's going to be another great quarterfinal game. Ruston versus Natchitoches Central. I'm going to defer to you on this one, man. That's kind of up in your area, Coach. You feel comfortable talking about that? That's on the other side of the bracket, kind of in your area. I like Natchitoches Central. They're senior heavy group. Ruston also as well. It's two good programs there. That 7-10 matchup, Coach. What you think on that one?
Oh yeah, man. Listen, I'm with you on there. Natchitoches Ruston, gonna be a good matchup out there at Ruston. They using Louisiana Tech's gym on that. They're without a gym this year, so they've played well to get that 7 seed. Coach Graff has done a good job, but Coach Nicky, man, and that senior group, Natchitoches. A lot of people thought coming in, Natchitoches would be top 5 team in this division all year long. Had an up and down season, but they've kind of bounced and righted the ship. You probably lean toward Natchitoches way this way. Anything can happen, as you said, with Chandler, Wade, LaCour, with the little girl they call Tootie. Natchitoches is way deep and way loaded. And they're senior heavy. But Ruston, like you said, Ruston's senior heavy too. Going to lose a lot after this year. I think all their starters, maybe a couple of starters, I know. So they're going to be rebuilding after this year as well. So it's going to be tough. It could go either way, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And going back to the Santa Maria comment right there, C² for Santa Maria, Comer, and Coleman down. That's definitely a tough matchup there. That's why I do like that. Southside does have some inside presence as well. That's probably, if I wasn't going to Ponchatoula Zachary, that'd probably be the next one I would have went to if I had to pick one. And then at least it's with the bottom half of the bracket. Again, like we talked about it, we have 2 opportunities for a redo here, which is just crazy. Whenever you get knocked out of the playoffs from last year, going a big run or whatever, you get an opportunity to take on the team that knocked you out or upset you the last time. You got Slidell going on the road to Denham Springs again. Same thing from last year. Slidell defeated Denham Springs, sent them home, and Slidell advanced. But I feel like whenever you get an opportunity to redo, you kind of are super focused. I do think Zachary and Denham will be more focused and more locked in and will probably advance here. But it's interesting to see whenever you as a coach, would you want to play Slide? Like, if you're Denham, would you want to play Slidell and get a redo, or would you want to play Barb there? It was a 1-point game. What's your thoughts?
It's kind of tough. Maybe the kids get up for this. Okay, we're gonna prove that we were the better team last year. You know what I mean? But also Slidell's coming in with something to prove that maybe we let one get away, and we're gonna go back and get what's ours this time. You see what I'm saying? So Slidell's probably gonna come in with a chip on their shoulder from the get-go. So Denham Springs just got to be able to weather the early storm, and go from there. They'll be in their home gym. Hopefully their crowd packs it out and makes it hard for Slidell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just cool to see the little storylines kind of line up there. Ponchatoula Zachary rematch, and then Slidell Denham rematch. I think that's really cool. Ruston and Natchitoches Central having so many seniors and stuff like that. That's really cool. Santa Maria versus Southside. I think those two teams match up so well, and neither one of them, to my knowledge, has been whoever wins this game like that far in the playoffs in quite some time. So that's going to be a fun one for sure. Shout out to Ari Hamilton, my girl Ponchatoula, great, a.k.a. number 5 from Nichols, man. She won a conference championship for us over there at Nichols. Remember, like it was yesterday, you was cutting down the top 28 championship net and going on to win a state title for Ponchatoula yourself. So let's jump into Division 1. You got anything else you want to leave on this one with the?
Nah, I'm good on that one. No bulletin board material from me.
Smart man. Jumping into Division One, man. You go ahead and lead us off. Let's see if I can figure out this little graphic here. Get us.
Listen, man, it's most people all year long has been calling this the Huntington, has been calling this the Huntington Invitational, but Huntington's got the guards, man. Four D1 prospects. Coach Shine has multiple options with his lineups. They're just so talented. Um, and they're going to be hard. Acadiana draws this team here. It's going to be hard. They got to roll into 6801 Raspberry Lane, and it is hard to play there. The noise level in that gym is so hard. They're going to pack the gym there. So I just think with the talent that Huntington has, it's going to be tough there for Acadiana to come in and to get a win. Again, Huntington's going to get after them. That's just what they do. And Acadiana's just got to be ready to go in there, and tough place to play. Tough place to play. Tioga. Many people. Tioga has surprised many people in this top side of the bracket. Had a good year. Coaches last year coaching, and looks like she has them bought in. They're rolling. But they're running into a good St. Thomas More team as well. So I hadn't seen St. Thomas More this year. I just know they're well. There's going to always be well coached. Coach Stroney is
Hey,
one of
it's
the
Coach
top coaches.
Trolley's last year too, or last year at St. Thomas. I don't know what he's got up his sleeve or what he's going to do afterwards, but he has announced that this will be his last year coaching the girls at St. Thomas more. So that's another storyline right there. When we're talking through these things, and it's comments like the one right here I'm pulling up. Denham and Slidell played earlier this year as well. Slidell won by 10. That's a great comment. So if you guys have anything like you can add to the storyline or to this conversation, man, please comment below. We're live on Facebook as well as YouTube, but go ahead and comment below. But yeah, Coach Stroney at St. Thomas More announced as well that this is going to be his last year. So
So somebody's retiring after this game.
Yes, sir.
somebody's done after this game, and I think it's gonna be tough. If I had to go anywhere, I would go St. Thomas More in that game. That's just me. But we'll see. Can Tauga make it a game at St. Thomas More?
Absolutely. Let's see who else with the Woodlawn versus Northwood Street. That's going to be a really good game. I kind of circled that one as well. Woodlawn's got Maja Price, and then Northwood Street's got Hannah Mouton. So that's like a battle of really two guards that are physical, bigger body guards. Both those young ladies will definitely play college basketball.
That's guards win games, man, and those two guards right there are really good guards. Two of the top two guards in our state. So that's going to be a good matchup. Northwood's got some inside presence with Queen. They got the guard that got over transferred in this year. So they got some pieces around Hannah. If they could put it all together, Coach Rudy and staff has done a great job with this team. Again, we saw them last year, and they were making progress, and then they get the transfer with Hannah in. I think you can look up if they can get past Woodlawn, Baton Rouge. We may be seeing, we may could see Northwood Shreve in the semis.
A double C. That's a good point. I mean, and honestly, I think what you're going to look back at this game is Woodlawn versus Northwood Shreve. It's like we talk about guards win games. It's really going to come down to, in my opinion, whoever plays better out of Maja Price and Hannah Mouton. I mean, the best player on both sides, whichever young lady steps up to the table and performs at their highest peak or brings their game to another level, is going to really impact their team. I mean, you see Northwood Shreve with a huge 20-point win over Ash. You can't bat an eye at that. So I think this game being a 12 versus a 5, you may think, oh, Woodlawn's a huge favorite here. Woodlawn may be a slight favorite. I don't think Woodlawn's going to bring a huge crowd. I don't think there's going to be a big home court advantage type thing here. I don't think Northwood Shreve's going to travel very well. That's a long ways to travel. This is Woodlawn and Baton Rouge, not Woodlawn Shreve. So this is a long ways to travel. But I think it's just going to boil down to on the court, man. Amaja Price, Hannah Mouton. whenever you look back at this score, whenever we see this score come across, I want to see those two young ladies matched up. Who had the better end of that one? And I think whoever does is going to be the one that's going to come out victorious. And that's a good point too. Looking at that next round, whoever wins this game could arguably be favored in the next game. They're going to be more athletic, more able to create off the bounce than both these other two teams, St. Scholastica and St. Joseph. And that's no discredit to those two teams. St. Scholastica has improved drastically over the last 4 years, and to see a 4 by their name is very impressive. But as far as they don't have a Maja Price or a Hannah Mouton, right? Whoever wins that game out of those two guys is going to have the best player in the gym next round, and that's hands down.
and,
There's no
and I'm
question about it.
and I'm sure, man, here in the north, looking at that, if I said if Northwood Tree can somehow get by Woodlawn, if they can sneak into the semifinals, man, it's gonna be crazy. That rivalry between Huntington and Northwood Shreve is off the chain this year, and so that I mean they will come out for that one. So that's kind of a storyline to be looking at. That those two teams don't really like each other, and it's known here in the city. And I know it's competitive or whatnot, and they keep it clean, competitive, fun. But when they line up against each other, they know it's we ain't friends until the final buzzer sign. Sometimes we still beefing, so it's gonna be competitive if not that. But it's gonna come down to Woodlawn, RJ Price, Hannah Mouton.
Yep. And I mean, again, appreciate everybody for watching, man. Tuning in. We got over 200 people watching live now between Facebook and YouTube, guys. Click the share button. Share the stream for us. Help us continue to grow this platform. Like I said, we're live on Facebook as well as YouTube. So if you know someone that doesn't have Facebook, we're live on YouTube as well. Moving into the next one, you got St. Joseph Academy versus St. Scholastica. We did call the St. Joseph Academy the win there, where they went on the road and defeated Riverdale. St. Joseph is just, I don't think they're going to have enough to compete with St. Scholastica. I think it can be a close game if it's low scoring. I think that's going to be their only, I guess their only chances if it's low scoring and they can kind of keep it rolling there. The higher the game gets, I think they're going to struggle to kind of put some points on the board, especially against St. Scholastica. So I lean St. Scholastica in that one. Like I said, unfortunately, I think whoever wins that game may or may not be the favorite in the next round, but they're just not going to have the best player in the next game, and that's okay, right? I mean, collectively, both those teams are very well-rounded teams, and they have been in the past 3 to 4 years. Then we got Liberty versus Dominican. Dominican with a big upset win over Higgins. What's fun about this division as well is so many teams get a bye, right? 8 teams get a bye, so you have so many new teams to kind of talk about that do have games. I think Liberty cruises in that one. Dominican is just not where they have been in the past. Liberty's going to be too big, too much pressure. They're going to turn them over. Cruise to an easy victory. Captain Shreve versus Karen Crow. What's your thoughts on that? Is there any way Captain Shreve can go on the road? They drove all the way down to New Orleans. Fought through all the Mardi Gras traffic, came away with a 48-40 victory over Warren Easton. Now they got to travel back down to Lafayette versus Karen Crow. You've probably seen Captain Shreve a lot more than most people have. What's your thoughts on can they go on the road and win at Karen Crow?
I'm gonna put it simple like this: when they are well coached by 2 state championship coaches, they got a chance. They're always gonna compete. They're gonna play hard every game. May not be the well-round all athletes everywhere around the court, but they're coming. They're coming, and they're a team to watch. They can sneak into Karen Crow and upset there. I'm going with Shreve with the upset.
Oh, wow. All right. You heard it here first. Man, he went on record there. I like that. I think Karen Crow, being on upset alert like that, I do think they understand what's on the line there. I think they had the better guard play in LeBlanc. LeBlanc just committed to BRCC, I believe it was. So whenever it comes down to that, like you kind of got to lean towards the best player. So I think Karen Crow will win that one. I'm looking forward to the next matchup. If Karen Crow does advance, Karen Crow versus Liberty, I think that's going to be a really good matchup. It's going to be really, really interesting to see who can kind of come out of that one. You got to go on the road to Liberty. Liberty's a hard place to win at. For those that don't know, it's a very tough environment. They're very into it. Bleachers go all the way up to the ceiling, and they pack the house. And Coach Valencia Wilson does a really good job there of getting everyone excited about basketball, girls basketball, winning multiple state championships, and always being kind of in the mix year in, year out. Let's move now to the next one, man. Archbishop Chappelle versus Lafayette. Terrible, 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 terrible draw for Chappelle, man. Like, I can't think of a worse draw in this whole bracket here. Chappelle has got to take on Lafayette at the 10 seed. Lafayette, as we know, is not a 10 seed. The defending state champs here came across some injuries early in the season, got banged up a little bit, scheduled extremely hard. Shout out to them. The schedule was tough, and they kept fighting through games, but losing Grace Paul early. She is back now, rocking and rolling. So they are full health. They're going to take on Chappelle, man. Chappelle has some inside presence as well. I think it's going to come down to Johnson at the guard play. Lafayette, Chappelle's just not going to have anybody that can match up to that. But Chappelle is in the John Curtis type district, so they are accustomed to seeing Shekinah Desdunes and kids like that year in, year out. So I don't think it'll be a huge shock. I don't foresee a huge blowout here. I wouldn't be surprised if Chappelle does defeat him, but I do think Lafayette is the favorite despite being a 10 seed. Then you got Southwood, man. Great year by Coach Marcus over there and getting them back into the playoffs, not only into the playoffs, but with a win, right? Winning in the first round on the road at Scotlandville. Huge win for Southwood, and now they draw John Curtis, which John Curtis is just going to be too much to handle there. You got anything you want to comment on that one?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Coach Marcus, man. We go back a long way, but he came in and did what I would think most people would say, righted a ship in a program that was kind of headed in the wrong way after some changes over there, and he kind of straightened things up and got it back on the right track. He's done a phenomenal job with those girls. The good thing about Southwood is, man, they're returning everybody next year. So they're coming. They're coming. Coach Marcus, he's a hard-nosed coach. He's gonna have those girls prepared. They're gonna give it their all. As you just said, I think John Curtis is just gonna be a little too much this year for that squad. With Dunez and Daniels and in company, and that's the key. In company, you try to stop one. You better have a bunch of athletes on the floor to deal with everybody that they got coming at you. So it's gonna be. They're gonna play hard, Southwood, but I think they come up just a little short this year. But they'll be back next year.
Absolutely, man. That moves us into the Division II non-selects, aka the last couple of years, the Wasserman Invitational. You want to take us off here with the top half of the bracket as Wasserman gets back on the road to the 3P, like you said, man.
Listen, man, I talked to Coach Wilson. Ross. Talked to Coach Wilson's dad. Other than I told him I'm going to keep asking this question until somebody answers me, like I was on record at the press conference last year. Does anybody want to go on record and say that Wasserman's going to win a 3-peat here? And somebody from Wasserman's got to answer me before that state tournament. So it's the Wasserman. It's the Wasserman Invitational here, man. It's no disrespect to anybody in this group. Wasserman should get easily by North Vermilion. I haven't seen him North Vermilion, but I know what Wasserman got. Bruisley sitting there at the 8 seed. It's going to be a tough quarterfinal round for them, and he kind of tricked us earlier in the year and said he was kind of down. Don't look like he's down to me. Coach has done a phenomenal job there at Bruisley. And can they get by West Felician? I know you like West Felician. I'm gonna let you take that one right there.
Yeah, shout out to West Feliciana going on the road to defeat Abbeville. We called that one for sure. And that was no disrespect to Abbeville, man. Just West Feliciana, for whatever reason, man, they find a way to get shit done whenever it comes down to playoff time. And when you've been there, done that, you've gone on the road, won games, you win games at home, you make deep runs. The kids are just kind of used to it, man, and that says a lot, right? It says a lot and that's something to kind of keep an eye on as we're going down this list and breaking down these games. Whenever you're looking at a lot of times, you're seeing the same teams year in, year out, right? And you see that in the football thing, like you're trying to practice come Thanksgiving, right? It's the same thing with basketball, man. The deeper you go, the more runs you make, the better your program is year in, year out. And Bruley, I think Bruley is a scary little 8 seed there for Wasserman in the quarters. That's kind of one of the scarier 8 seeds that you can see where they have two guards that can hoop, right? Now they have nobody that can match up with Burton. That's what kind of makes Wasserman so deadly, man. Is that they've got the guards, they've got the wing, and they've got inside, and they've got a four-headed monster, and then shout out to the young ladies, the collective group outside of that, right? They can plug and play anybody. Seeing these girls step out and knock down 3 balls, really defend. I think Washington's going to be. People are going to think Washington's going to fall off. They're only losing two of the big dogs. So, and Burton and Ross, I think with what they got coming back with Wilson and Augustin and the collective group continuing to win games, man, and it's just what they're accustomed to. I think Washington's going to be the team to beat for next couple years.
And listen, I think so too, because a lot of they find, if you ever watch Washington play, they find themselves, Ross finds himself in foul trouble a lot. And sometimes Coach Otis has to take burden off the floor because maybe a team is running all guards at them or whatnot. So they're used to playing without those two in the lineup. So like you said, the collective group, I don't think they're gonna fall off. I think they just keep rolling next year as well. And I also think, man, the game that I'm looking on this Lagrange Jennings, because in having conversation with people up here, and I've said it openly, that if Lagrange can sneak their way into the semis, I may be willing to say Wiseman may be in trouble. So you know what I mean. So that will be a good matchup. I think Coach Holmes does a great job with Levon. He'll have his team well prepared if he can get by Jennings. I haven't seen Jennings this year, so I'll let you speak more to that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think like to that point, you look back at these two matchups that we're looking at here with Jennings and Lagrange and Iota and Albany. It's like these matchups are fun because we've seen them like year in year out in this division, right? These are kind of some heated rivalries from back in the day, a few years ago, whatnot. Now, Lagrange and Jennings kind of play each other for the most part, from what I know, every single year. Lagrange did win by 7 early in the season. I think Lagrange is playing a little bit better basketball than they were at that point in the year. But I mean, Jennings is obviously playing some good basketball as well, going on the road and winning at Opelousas. I think Lagrange is just going to be, again, they're used to winning these games year in, year out, state championships. Like, that's all these kids kind of know, right? He's making deep runs, quarterfinal runs, and stuff. So it's going to be fun. I think Lagrange and Albany in the quarterfinals is going to be a really fun game. Albany's going to pack the house against Iota. That's just a tough draw for Iota. Like I said, Iota versus Albany 10 years ago would have been an amazing game. Iota versus Albany this year is going to be an amazing game. So it's just seeing the tradition of the two programs collide year in, year out in these divisions is a lot of fun.
And Albany says tradition never graduates, right?
Yep.
So tradition never graduates. So they always gonna always roll their best foot forward. Coach is really good coach. She's gonna have her girls prepared.
Yep. And both those teams travel extremely well. Like, I would love to see a picture of Iota versus Albany in that game. And I would say outside of maybe Wassman. Yeah, maybe outside of Wassman, that's going to be in North Vermilion is not going to travel that well. I'd probably say Albany and Iota is probably going to be the most packed game out of this division, if not out of the entire state, really. Iota is going to travel really well, and I think Albany is going to definitely pack the house as well. So it's going to be a great game, a great small town environment, but some big time basketball being played. But I see Albany advancing on that one. That leads us down to the bottom half of the bracket. Again, guys, comment, like, share, anything you got, man. Help us continue to grow this platform as we continue to grow. Any feedback you got, information you guys want to kind of add, we're throwing the comments up there. Coach Kendrick, man, let us know what you got on the bottom half right here. This is going to be Bastrop. See if I can get it up there for us.
Uh, yeah, bring that up for
Here
me.
we go.
Yeah, Bastrop St. Martinville. I think Bastrop gets through that game. Coach, Bastrop has like we've been saying in years past have kind of played a light schedule, but this year they kind of went out and tested themselves, beat a really good Ponchatoula team, beat a really good Natchitoches team. So I think they should see their way into the quarterfinals here. What I do, I what I got my eye on is when Church Point. If
Yep.
Church Point gets past Plaquemine, I think that's a bad matchup for Bastrop against Church Point. I think Church Point, if that's the matchup, me personally will give the edge to Church Point.
Yeah, no, and I think that is a good one. I think diving into that matchup a little bit more. Whenever we're looking at the, I think Bastrop has been here enough, right? They've been here enough. We talked about them having a light schedule 2 years ago, and they just continue to get better. And they're always there. They're always in the hunt. They're always a 1, 2, 3, 4 seed. Their strength schedule's gotten better. I think they're going to be more prepared for this deep run, top 28. Again, it's just a team that has become a program that you expect in this division. And the South Bows, the Bastrops, the Albanys, Lagrange, Wasserman, it's been these teams. Bruley, it's been these teams over the last 5 years, it seems like, in this division, year in, year out.
And I'm sure Bastrop has something to prove this year because they're senior heavy, and their good girls are going to be graduating this year, and so I know the coach is trying to get it done this year. They're a couple years ago state runner up, correct if I'm not mistaken, or
Yep.
semi. Yeah, so they're trying to get it over the hump, and they're trying to bring one home, but at some point it's going to be a tough run for them. It's going to be a deep run. At some point, it's going to get tough for them.
And you kind of hit the nail on the head with Church Point Plaquemine. I do think Plaquemine can give Church Point a run for their money if that game is low scoring, right? If that game is in the 30s, is going to really benefit Plaquemine. They're going to be a gritty, grinded out type of team. With Madison over there, Madison is just a dog, right? And the team's going to feed off of her energy. So Plaquemine can make that in the 30s, maybe super low 40s. I just think Church Point's going to run that score. They've got the ability to score. If they get into the 50s, Plaquemine's chances of winning is going to drop drastically. But I think whenever you're looking at it, Plaquemine, Church Point, that's probably your only two teams. Whenever I'm really looking at it, that can jump on the map that haven't been in this mix, right? Iowa hasn't been in this mix. I just don't think they're quite ready, especially with having to defeat South Bow on the road. I think I give the advantage to Plaquemine or Church Point to find a way to defeat Bastrop, right? But that's kind of what I'm looking at in this half of the bracket is can Plaquemine, Church Point, Iowa, or one of these new teams that we've seen in this bracket, in this division, can we get a new team in the top 28? Or is it going to continue to be the same 5, 6 teams that we've seen over the course of, last 5 years, really? This is a great comment right here. Great to see, with Karen Hoyt at Albany and the prestige that she's had being in the Hall of Fame, LHSAA, and continuing the tradition with her granddaughters now playing. That is definitely really cool. That's like the extreme of the extreme, but whenever you're at Albany, like it's just like that every year. My mom played here, so I'm trying to win. When I was in kindergarten and the team went to the top 28, I high-fived them, and now I'm going around high-fiving them. So for those that don't know, whenever Albany makes it to the top 28 and they leave, the whole school, all the way K, like they go around the elementary and everybody at the school stands outside, waves goodbye, high-fives them as they're on their way out. So it's a great tradition that is there at Albany. And one of the girls last year talked about that, where she was a young student, kindergarten, first grade, whatever she could remember. and then for her to be going on the road to do that on the other side. It's just a couple really cool, storylines at these smaller big schools that is really cool to share. So I appreciate you sharing that with Miss Karen and her granddaughter. It's definitely really cool. And then South Bow, man, at the bottom. I think South Bow is one of these teams that can make a deep run. I love their draw. Like I think South Bow fought for the draw that they had, and being that 2C, coach does a fantastic job. They're very well coached. They do a lot of stuff, different things, changing up offensively and defensively. A lot of respect. Whenever you're scouting out teams and coaches, it's a lot easier to scout the good coaches because they are so organized and stuff. So you can see the stuff that they're trying to do and they're trying to accomplish, and it's paying off, right? So they got them the 2 seed, and they've really got one of the best draws, I believe, to get back to that top 28 in the arguably the championship game. Iowa has improved a lot. Shout out to Coach Courtney, definitely, man. I agree with that comment there. Iowa, Plaquemine, Church Point. I'm rooting to see if one of those three can knock off one of the big dogs. Let's see. Let's move into the next division. You got anything else you want to add on that one?
Nah, we good, man.
All right, let's see. Is this the right one? Nope.
No, we should be in the
LCA.
LCA Division Two Select, right?
What, man? LCA Invitational.
LCA Invitational, exactly. Gonna be tough for BT Dove Shreveport. Had a good year. Coach Wynn has had a good year for them, man. Go down to New Orleans. I can't remember who they beat last week. I mean,
Booker. They beat the Willow School, New Orleans. Yep.
At the Willow School. So they travel down there, fight through the Mardi Gras parades, as you say, and get that win. And get that win. That was a long trip, and then have to come back home. I think they came back home, I believe, and now I think they may have stayed, yeah. And then to go down tomorrow to Lafayette to run into the best player in the whole state. It's gonna be real tough for them. Great season. We beat up on each other around here a lot in Shreveport, North Louisiana, but when somebody's in the playoff, we root for each other. But Jada Richard is going to be a little bit too much for them, and I don't think they're going to have an answer for her.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be interesting is you got LCA will advance there. I think Northside will take care of business, and then you'll get a rematch of LCA versus Northside. It was a 20-point game last time they played, and it was a nearly 40-point game the game before then. So it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. I don't like that I'm having to play a district opponent and somebody really right up the road in the quarterfinals if I'm LCA. I think we saw what happened. LCA is not as deep as they have been in the past. We saw what happened whenever Samuels went down. Southern Lab snipped him. O'Keel nearly snipped him. So you're not. I mean, you're one rolled ankle away from being in a lot of trouble. You're one foul call from being, having a kid in foul trouble and being in a lot of trouble. Whenever you're having to play a common opponent who happens to be, right up the road in Northside, I think that's a tough draw in the quarterfinals. Although I think they're obviously the huge favorite. It's just not ideal.
Don't sleep on Eve. Don't sleep on Eve Alexandra, man. Alexander, she been in these. Just signed the FMU, right?
Yep.
And don't sleep on her. She's a kid that shows up in big moments, and when she shows up big. So don't sleep on her. Jada will have help, I'm sure. Coach Harrell's one of the top coaches in the state, so he'll make sure that did we get it clear? And I know Coach Price told us on last time we were on live that Samuels was supposed to be coming back. Did we hear that she is back?
I did not confirm. I need to confirm with that.
Okay, gotcha.
Definitely need to confirm with that. Now, looking down at the bottom half of the top bracket, I guess, Cabrini with a big upset. They'll take on Bunkie. You got De La Salle versus Edie White. What's your thoughts? You have any? I mean, those teams are more in my area.
Yeah, I hadn't seen either one of those. I know De La Salle was dealing with injury with Danae. She's trying to fight through the injuries and whatnot to get back to rolling. Talk to Coach Mike maybe a week or so ago. He's saying just if we could get her back to rolling, they'll be okay. So I haven't seen neither one of them play. That's more like you say your area.
Yeah. This this is a good one, man. With Bunky and Cabrini. I mean, shout out to Cabrini going on the road and winning that Haynes in a 2 point game. I can imagine that was a great game there. Um, I like Bunky, man. Bunky's done a great job over the course of some the past few years now. To see them with a 5 next to their name, man, that's very impressive. And that's what was all I kind of come back to, man. Is just seeing the the growth of some of these younger teams, man. And I think Bunky is in a prime position now to make a run. I would say Bunky, in my opinion, is the favorite out of this half of the bracket. Believe it or not, I don't think a lot of people know about Bunky. There are a or have been a younger group that's continued to grow over the past few years, and I think they're definitely knocking on that door. So I'm anxious to see if they can knock down that door. Um, I'm leaning their way. But then you go back, De La Salle, Edie White. We talked about De La Salle not being a 13 seed, right? De La Salle is probably more of a 5-6 type seed. So tough draw there for Edie White having to play them in their first game of the bracket, second round tournament, given that they had a bye. That's gonna be a tough draw. Smaller gym. That's going to be a packed crowd, man. Packed house. There's only a set of bleachers on one side. I think they can play games in their arena. You got to have a certain amount of stands. I think they can play games. It's a smaller gym. I wouldn't be surprised if De La Salle goes on the road there and comes away with a W. Edie White's going to have to force some turnovers, create some turnovers, and turn De La Salle over. If De La Salle makes it a half court game, slows it down a little bit, bangs it inside, I don't think Edie White has an answer for Danae Lewis. So that'll be fun to see, man. De La Salle could be one of those teams that can make a deep run. With a 13 next to their name and be a double-digit team in the top 28. That would definitely be a lot of fun to kind of see. You got anything else you want to add on that one? Or you want to jump down to the bottom half?
No, man, we good, we good. Um,
Let's see here. All right, so jumping into the bottom half of the bracket, Madison Prep is a team that I really like, man. I think Madison Prep has enough to compete and even to beat LCA, believe it or not, with the guard play that they got with Brooklyn Smith, Paige Hawkins, two elite guards that will definitely be playing college basketball somewheres. Um, I think Madison Prep, with the inside of Layla Robinson, has enough to compete with Eve. So they just really balance really well with LCA, especially if Samuels is banged up, not able to go. That's going to be a tough one. So I look for Madison Prep to come out of this half of the bracket. They're going to cruise through St. Michael's pretty easily. Archbishop Hannon, again, we talked about it, seeing them continue to grow. I think they're better than an 11 seed. I could see them going on the road to Booker T. Washington and winning that game and advancing to the quarterfinals. Definitely can see that one. Terrence Catholic and Carver. I haven't seen either one of those teams. I know Catholic has played in a tougher division as far as district wise in this area, but they've also kind of scheduled light outside of their district in the area. So that game could really go either way, in my opinion. Then you got Washington Marion, had a huge win over Estruma. They look like they got things rocking and rolling. They're going to travel on the road to Vanderbilt Catholic. So Vanderbilt Catholic is what we would also say has an opportunity to win. In my opinion, the state championship is more than likely the LCA, but there's only really two other teams that can win in Madison Prep and Vanderbilt Catholic. What's your thoughts, man? Who do you see out of this bottom half of the bracket, and who do you see, I guess, coming out of this side?
Man, listen, shout out to Madison Prep and Coach, man, what he's done this year. Last year they kind of struggled a little bit, 5, 6 players. But and speaking with him, I've always told him last year once I had opportunity to coach Brooklyn when she come to our LGR events, and I knew that kid was going to be a star as soon as she hit high school. And so she's done that. She's lived up to the bill. She's definitely gonna for years to come, and it's all about highlighting our kids, right? She's definitely gonna be one of those kids to carry the torch for high school girls high school basketball for the next 3 years. So Madison Prep, we get back to the years from where they were Madison Prep, and they were always there. They were always winning the state title. They were runner up. I think they got a shot here. I think they really got a shot, and the coach has done a good job this year.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Anybody else want to comment? I mean, we got some people saying the Douglas disrespect is crazy. I mean, no disrespect to Douglas, but in order to get respect, you got to continue to like demand
Where's
respect. You got to win
where's
games.
Where's
You want
Douglas from? Where they ranked at? Who they playing?
they're ninth, taking on Northside, so they won the first round game versus St. Louis Catholic. Shout out to them. I'm not sure how many playoff wins they have in the past few years, but jumping into the second round is huge. You want to get talked about like some of these other teams that we're continuing to talk about. You got to make quarterfinals, and
Correct.
you got a great opportunity. You put yourself in the opportunity
Hey,
to
hey,
get that done tomorrow.
let me give them a hint. Do like Parkview did last year. Do like Oakdale did last year. Use this for motivation and go to upsetting people and go to showing people what you proved of. We're by no means trying to disrespect anybody. We're just trying to give our insight to get the conversation started, right? That's what it's all about. Just get the conversation started.
Absolutely, and that's all it's about, man. We got multiple DMs. Got multiple DMs last after the last round. I'm expecting multiple DMs again this round. People tagging us and everything with the crystal ball. Whenever we do get stuff wrong, right? We love having the to be the quote unquote bad guy and motivating people. If that makes the game that much better and that makes you and your team compete that much harder, I mean that's job well done by us. Like that's all we want. We want people talking about girls basketball during this time right now, all the way until like you said, 12 days from now, the season's over. So we're just kind of continuing to get the conversation started, and if we can motivate some people along the way, man, please, we love to do so. Moving into Division 3, let's see here. Rose Pine Division, man, you want to start us off here?
Rose Pines, go kill it. It's gone. Northwestern seems to have a good year this year, somewhere from in our area. They've had a good year. They're in that tough district with Wasman, and so they should be, going to run into battle tested. They should be ready for anything. But Coach Kelly's building a program, man. He's built the program, and it's sustaining for the long haul. I think he's primed, and I think he's got the girls motivated to try to do this back to back. He brought them their they brought their first state title. This senior group that they have, if they can do it, will be the first, back to back in school history. So I got Rose Pine easily into the quarters, and I'll go on record going ahead and get them in the semis.
Man, you might as well give them back in the state championship at this point. Why stop now, man? Why stop now, man? Oh man, I went off the grid here. Where we at? So we got Rose Pine. Whoops, one more. All right, cool.
We're in Division 3, yeah.
I like the storyline again in some of these division little matchups again. We talked about Rose Pine brought back everybody. So they brought back the whole squad from last year's state championship. They're rocking and rolling. Dang, I did it again. They're rocking and rolling. Let's see. There we go. So Rose Pine's rocking and rolling. That's kind of, it's really they're out to a lead ahead of everybody. Everyone's trying to play catch up. It's going to be who can kind of catch up along the way. And I'm looking back at the matchups. I think French Settlement rocks and rolls, in this round. I think Westlake, again, rocks and rolls. And that's where we get the French Settlement versus Westlake in the quarterfinals. Get another opportunity to redo, right? You get the opportunity to redo of what happened last time. You very rarely get that opportunity. We see Zachary's got the opportunity to redo last year versus Ponchatoula. Huge matchup. I think Zachary's going to be super locked in. We'll see that tomorrow night. And then you got Slidell versus Dill Springs. Slidell upset Dill Springs last year. They get an opportunity to redo, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing French Settlement versus Westlake. That's probably my most exciting matchup in this quarterfinal or in this half of the bracket. So I'm really hoping that we do get the opportunity to see a redo. I think that's going to be some really good basketball. Westlake is playing extremely well, man. French Settlement is that team that's up and coming, trying to knock down that door. Shout out to Ville Platte, man, going on the road. Huge upset win over St. James. I heard a couple different things that did happen over there or did not happen, so not 100% sure of what happened. But nonetheless, man, Ville Platte went on the road, got a huge win there. Great comment here. Vanderbilt did already beat Madison Prep, and that was a pretty good win for sure. I think it was about like 20 or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, I mean, it's a little feedback like that. Again, guys, appreciate everybody for commenting. Continuing to throw some feedback through there and help us continue to grow this platform. If you haven't already, please click the share button. We're live on Facebook as well as YouTube. But back at it, man. Springfield versus Ville Platte. I think Springfield probably would have rather seen St. James there. Ville Platte now gets a little bit of a roll now, going on the road. Huge win over St. James, but I think Springfield, this coach is going to be well coached. They got a home game right there. I think you got to lean towards Springfield, and I think Springfield can compete with Rose Pine. It's going to be a tough draw to win at Rose Pine, but I do think Springfield is a scary game for Rose Pine. Like you said, we talked about, not like someone in the comments said, not overlooking my move, but French Settlement and Westlake is the games that I'm looking forward to. You want to go ahead and jump into the bottom half of that bracket there? Take us away.
Yo, who's down there? I got Doyle, Richwood, and West St. Mary, Sterlington. This is who's down at the bottom? Who's the 2 seed here?
2 seed is Amy.
Amy. It's gonna be tough for tough side of the bracket for everybody. Mansfield Pine. Mansfield's got to travel on the road there. But I think if you got to hang your hat on anybody, it's gonna be Amy. Kind of like what you were saying earlier when we were talking about Douglas. It's like Amy's a program that's been there. They're always hanging around. They're always in the championship discussion. And in their healthy guard back from last year, who they didn't have in the final game last year, it's gonna be tough for anybody to beat them. Not saying it's not impossible, but I think Amy comes out of this bottom half. Doyle, I haven't seen them play. Follow them on social media or whatnot. I see that they've racked up a lot of wins this year consistently. Another one of those programs that's always in the thick of things. It's always the 1, 2, or the 3 or the 4 seed. I think they put a stat out the other day, like 4th, 5th year in a row, they go into the playoffs ranked as the 3rd seed. You see what I'm saying? So, so it's another one of those programs that's always in the mix here. So I can easily see Doyle versus they meet there in the semis.
Yep, I think that's going to be a good game too. If it does come down to that, I think that's going to be a great game with Doyle and A-Meet, being so close together to each other. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. Let me see. I'm all jacked up now. Let's see. This is Doyle. There we go. Cool. Getting a little deeper into this bracket on the bottom side, a team that I see that can, the highest seed team, we talked about it already, that can win a state championship in this division, I would say is Sterlington. They're at the 6th seed. I think Sterlington has done enough, strength of schedule wise over the summer. I think Sterlington is a team that this division needs to keep an eye on. You're going to look up and be like, man, Sterlington in the top 28, where did they come from? Sterlington in the state championship, where do they come from? I would not be surprised if Sterlington makes a huge run here. With that being said, they can go on the road. Doyle is a very, very difficult place to win at in the quarterfinals. And they can learn a lot of things, get better for next year. Whenever it comes to these quarterfinal games, you really want to be a home team. Like whenever you're going on the road at Doyle, Sterlington is going to be down by 10. Not overlooking the West St. Mary's, but I think Sterlington is just they're better than the 6th seed that they are, in my opinion. Doyle versus Richwood. Richwood has some kids that can flat out hoop as well now. Like don't get that twisted. Richwood has some athletes that can put the basketball in the hole. That's not a good draw for Doyle in the what is their first game of the year. That game could be closer than some think, but I do think Doyle's style of play is just going to wear those guys down. I think Doyle kind of cruises to a victory there. I'm looking forward to that Doyle versus Arlington in the quarterfinals. Mansfield versus Pine. Pine has played some of these really good teams in Amite and Doyle and Albany in their area. They just haven't beat any of those teams. So they've competed with them. So it's going to be interesting to see Mansfield's maybe not at that level, but they are and have been there before, where Pine has
And
not.
And
So,
Mansfield, man, Mansfield, not to cut you off, Mansfield has played a tough schedule this year. We've seen them early in our tournament. They kind of started off slow, but coach, another championship coach, man, Coach Neal, always has her girls competing at those levels and this time of season. And they got the ship going down the road the right way. Girls start playing together as a team. So Mansfield can easily go into Pine and win that.
yeah, I would even say Mansfield is probably in my opinion, the favorite, especially if they can get the game low. Like Mansfield, for those that don't know, is a defensive juggernaut and has been a defensive juggernaut for years. They're going to play very physical, grimy game, and if they can kind of keep the game low scoring, I think they'll have a chance to go on the road. Pine's not going to be one of those environments where it's going to be crazy atmosphere or anything. So I think Mansfield's got they have no problem traveling down and coming down and having a chance to win that game.
Yeah,
Pine's had
got
a great
Mansfield's
year.
got
They just haven't won a big game like this yet.
yeah, and Mansfield is a community that travels as well. So you got I know people from Mansfield, and they've already talking about they're hitting the road and they're going down to support their Lady Wolverines. So it's going to be a crazy environment.
Yep. And then we got A Meat at the bottom, like we talked about. A Meat is primed for another deep run, man. It seems like for the past 5 years they've been in the state championship games, top 28. So they're rocking and rolling again at a 2 seed, put themselves in a great spot. Again, whenever you are that good and put yourself in that good of a spot, it comes down to the quarterfinals, and you had that huge home court advantage that a place like Amite does have. I think Amite kind of cruises into the back to the top 28, where they'll just be right around the corner, man. Hammond's right there. We could be looking at Amite, whether it's 11 or 12 days from now, holding up another state championship trophy. It's a good, fun little bracket here, man. Like I said, it's coming down so fast with the second round being tomorrow, quarterfinals being on Thursday. The season's over, man. Next Saturday, the season is over for everyone. Next Saturday, like that's how fast it comes. It comes and goes quick, man. So we appreciate everybody for joining us. We're gonna jump into the next round. That is Division
Shout out to
Three.
Coach O'Neill. Shout out to Coach O'Neill there. She does some work there with us through LGR throughout the season, man. And she's pulling for Mansfield there to do that upset. She's going Mansfield all the way to the semis. We shall see.
Yes, sir. I like it. She's on record. We heard it here.
We heard it on record, Coach O'Neill. We got you.
All right, man. Division 3 select. About halfway through, man. Appreciate everybody for joining us again, guys. Click that share button, like, subscribe. Division 3, man. This is the Parkway Baptist division, man. This is your favorite division. Made yourself very popular with the comments you made last year. So I'll let you go ahead and take it away, man. Be careful what you say. I'll just put it out there like that.
No. As I said last week, I'm on record. I'm riding Parkview all the way this year. No disrespect from me this year. So the steamroll had me dying laughing last year. So yeah, man, I don't know too much. I haven't seen Durham this division here. It's more down your way, correct? So I'll let you take it away on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, this division has been fun to kind of keep an eye on, a little interesting to say the least. I think it could be another one where like, a lot of different teams can win. I like St. Thomas Aquinas. That's a huge one on the road. St. Thomas Aquinas is a terrible matchup for Newman. You know, St. Thomas Aquinas is going to get up and down, fast play style of play. Newman's going to try to walk it up. We talked about it last time. Newman has two of the best post players, the best 1-2 combo in the state. But at the end of the day, guards win games. I think I like St. Thomas Aquinas there, sneaking through that one. And if St. Thomas Aquinas sneaks through that one, then they got Dunham on the road, which is they're probably an underdog. But if they find a way to go on the road, then they're back. We talked about it last year. Hammond literally one red light away from the top 28 games. So I think St. Thomas Aquinas is a dark horse in this division, somebody that I would keep an eye on. And if they didn't have the young lady transfer out of there, they would probably be the favorites to win this division. But now I think they are a dark horse that I do like to keep an eye on. I also like University Lab. Man. I think U High is playing really good basketball. At that 4 seed, I like where they're at. They've already defeated Dunham, I believe. Here, let me try to double check that real quick. Have they not played Dunham? No, they haven't played Dunham. So, I mean, no disrespect, I think Dunham's schedule is a little bit lighter than University Labs. University Labs played Doyle, Madison Prep. They've played Woodlawn, Baton Rouge, A-Mead, North Shore, White Castle. They played some of these teams that we're continuing to talk about. Liberties, they've played a lot of the top teams. So I think University Lab, U-High is going to be primed and ready for those deep runs that I guess they're going to be ready for the moment at the end of the day. So I look for University Lab to kind of cruise through the quarterfinals and then on to the top 28 where they'll play what I think would either be Dunham or St. Thomas Aquinas on that side. Not to disrespect Newman. If they can slow the game down, that's definitely going to favor them. But if they run into a tough matchup with St. Thomas Aquinas and Dunham both running and gunning, it's just a bad draw. Let's go ahead and jump into the bottom side of the brackets. So, St. Thomas Aquinas is young. All 3 of their top players are sophomores. It's definitely some good feedback right there, Fridge. I appreciate that. Holy Savior Menard is another team that I like out of this division. I think they got an opportunity. Parkview Baptist, like you said already, you're going on record. You're riding with them all the way. I think they probably are the favorites also. Maybe they're the team that defeated Dunham. Let's see. Yeah, they defeated Dunham by 16 already. So, yeah, despite Dunham being the 1 seed, Parkview Baptist has already defeated them. So, Parkview Baptist is probably the team that everyone's trying to catch here. I think Holy Savior Bernard does have enough to compete with them. Someone keeps reminding me about Glenmore and keeping an eye on Glenmore. So, I think Glenmore defeats Holman Christian. And then that Glenmore versus Parkview Baptist, that's an interesting matchup there, too. I think that could go a lot closer than people think with that 2 versus 7. But, yeah, Glen Oaks has some guard play. St. Mary's Academy, they're trying to get into the quarterfinals for the first time in a while. It's interesting to kind of keep an eye on that matchup. It's going to be a battle of the guard play there, kind of who can prevail. I'll probably lean towards St. Mary's a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if Glen Oaks is able to go on the road and sneak out a win there. But it's looking like Menard, Parkview Baptist, and U-High, in my opinion, is going to be kind of the 3 favorites here. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I was just gonna say, should we go on record and say Parkview is gonna kind of steamroll their way to the
Yeah, you can leave all that one, man.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh versus Parkview rematch last year's state championship. That would be pretty crazy. That would be a great one.
And tell Parkview coach, man, I'm still waiting on my state title, a ring, a necklace, or something, man.
A shout out. Too funny. That's going to get us to Division 4, man. Division 4 on the non-select side. That's going to be Arcadia, man. That's up in your area. You want to go ahead and lead us away with that one?
Well, Arcadia is the 1 seed for a reason here. Real good squad. Got Justice Young back this year that's really playing well out here. And you got the guards, Deasia Alexandra. You got the guard come in, the little guard from Gibb come in. You got other players around them. Deasia's projecting going to be one of the top 20. She's 27, I think.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, 27 in the state. Next to the other kids. So Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Logan Sport to deal with. There in Arcadia. They have a good crowd night in and night out at their games. So I got Arcadia rolling into. But they're going to be tough there against Oak Grove. I know you like Oak Grove a lot, so I'll let you talk about them.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of gets us into the rest of this interesting, I guess, dilemma here that we have in this bracket. It's a lot of teams that, in my opinion, can make a good run. And that's what we saw last year with Oakdale, right? Oakdale was not a team that we were talking about at this point in the season. And then you fast forward 12 days later, and they're cutting down the nets on a historic run, right? As they went on the road and defeated Lake Arthur around this time last year.
I,
So
I,
it's kind of like who's going to be the Oakdale of this division this year. I think there's a lot of teams that you can kind of talk about. You got the
and,
Lakeviews, Oberlin can flat out shoot it. I think they just got a bad draw. East Bow is not bad. White Castle, we talk about them a lot. Who's kind of like your dark horse? Pickering, Maryville, man. Maryville can put Lakeview on upset alert. I don't think Maryville's ready now. I think they got a tough draw. I think if they would have played LaSalle, they would have had a better matchup. Or even White Castle, really. But
and
go ahead.
I think Lakeview is gonna, have a good run here. Like they got Timler some help this all season. They got a kid down low. He talked to coach a couple weeks ago. Got a kid down low that's playing unexpectedly well. That he thought she didn't think she would play this well, but she's been a big help for Timberland this year. And then you get the guard that came over from Central, Negative Central there that has helped them give them another 1-2 punch there. So Lakeview, don't sleep on them. We don't give them enough credit. They were in the state championship game. There was one kid from South Trouble Way, controversial call there at the end. That ended up being a technical foul and all that. If you were there in the building, you know what we're talking about. I think the storyline though that I'm looking forward to in this division is Arcadia Oakdale. Let me tell you what, and not to overlook Lakeview versus Arcadia in the possibly in the semifinals, but it was Oakdale that knocked off Arcadia in the semis with Imani Young's last three, right? Correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
Exactly.
Somebody else,
So I,
somebody else correct us if we were wrong there.
exactly. So I'm sure Arcadia is really chopping at the bit to get back to Oakdale, and but they got a tough draw here to be the one seed to have to go through Oak Grove possibly in the end. Got Lakeview coming in the semis possibly. That's gonna be tough. I know you want to get back to Oakdale, but you got to take care of those two people in front of you.
No, that's great points, man. I mean, honestly, whenever you're looking back at that top half of the bracket is a lot tougher for a one seed than really Oakdale has at the bottom, right? I would argue Oakdale has an easier run at it
Yes, yes.
than the top half, and this I think East Bow can definitely give Oakdale a little run for the money. Um, I think White Castle, Lake Arthur, whoever comes out of that half, obviously is going to be tough. But at that point, you're already talking about a quarterfinal home game for Oakdale. They're going to be huge favorites, right? So I think Oakdale swoops into the top 28, where they're going to have a tough draw in either Lake Arthur or White Castle. But again, another reliving the moment. You got Lake Arthur, who Oakdale went on the road and defeated Lake Arthur before along their way to the state championship game. I'm sure Lake Arthur's jumping at the bits to have a rematch of Oakdale as well. So there's a lot of storylines with these teams that are coming back year in year out. To kind of have a shot at it. LaSalle, I don't know enough about them. I think, like you said, with the 4 seed there, man, Lakeview is probably the favorite to come out of that side. So I see Arcadia Lakeview top 28, and then Oakdale taking on the winner of Lake Arthur and White Castle. Um, which we're going to again be talking about top 28. I mean, we're going to be talking about quarterfinal games on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever we can jump back on. And that's going to be some games where we're going to get really dicey, right? Especially in these divisions here, man, as we continue to
Shout
look
out.
forward.
Shout out to Coach Vickers, man. He's one of our loyal supporters, man. That comment he just put up. The point guard from Oakdale got an offer. I did see that on social media today or yesterday. Shout out to her for getting that offer.
Who should get offered by? Hobson is a dog, by the way.
Uh,
I don't know
um,
who needs a freaking really good point guard that can flat out create her own bucket or get everybody else involved. Hobson is a dog. I would take that
yeah,
kid and any second, man. I know that kid's gonna give me everything she's got night in, night out. And when she gets to the next level, she's not gonna just be okay with getting to the next level. She's gonna want to continue to get better, which is a big thing whenever you're looking at kids that are kind of borderline, you would say, college. I would put my name on Hobson. That kid definitely deserves to play at the next level, and she will play at the next level. Let's see. You ready to move on to the next one? Let's
yeah.
see.
Division 4 none. Oh, the bottom half.
Division
Okay.
4 select. Yep.
Select. Division 4 select. Division 4 Southern Lab.
Southern
Southern
Lab.
Lab. Southern
Northwood
Lab in the
Lane.
top. Southern Lab in the top. And I know they got a chip on their shoulder being up in the state title game last year. And I'm pretty sure coach has preached that to finish every game, Don't let your foot up. They've battle tested this year. They knocked off LCA, as we said. They were the first in the state to beat LCA. So they put up some big. They have not dodged any smoke whatsoever. So they've played Walker, they've played Lafayette Christian, Karen Crow, Wasman, Ponchatoula, Liberty, Vanderbilt Catholic, John Curtis. They have not dodged any smoke whatsoever. Natchitoches Central, Zachary, Madison Prep. That schedule there, and you come out and still to be the number one seed. Yeah, I think you're battle tested and you're ready to go for a deep run, and they'll be in the championship game on that top side. And that's just my opinion. And we want to shout out. Well, I'll let you go ahead on the top side there.
I don't know if that's just your opinion. I think that's everyone's opinion at this point. Southern Lab, man, they've done what they needed to do. These other teams that are in this area, the Sacred Hearts, Washoe Christians, Cedar Creeks, St. Martin's Episcopal, teams that are left on this side of the bracket just are not at the level of Southern Lab, right? When you're talking about playing the teams that they're playing, no disrespect at all, but you're trying to catch up to Southern Lab. You're trying to catch up to what they've built. You're trying to catch up to Northwood Lena. You're trying to catch up to, I think Hamilton Christian is starting to catch up to those groups. Shout out to the coaches and the coaching staff over there and what they've continued to build. Mackenzie DeVille doing a great job of really being the first one to that school in a long, long time, especially with girls basketball. The boys basketball program has been great for a long time. She kind of was the one that made it cool to want to go over there and play with the girls. And Hamilton Christian, I think, is the only one that's kind of closing that gap with the Northwood Lena and the Southern Labs, especially whenever they went to the select, non-select type thing. It's been Southern Lab, Northwood Lena, and then everybody else. Right? Hamilton Christian, I believe, has closed that gap. It's going to be who can be the fourth guy in the dance at the end of the day. In my opinion, it's going to be those three, really, no matter what. But it's going to be who can be the fourth guy in this dance. And with that being said, I don't know if it's going to be Washoe Christian or Sacred Heart. I would lean towards Washoe Christian, just given the history that they have there and the deep runs that they've made in the past. That's a team that's going to be young and going to be ready to rock and roll here over the next couple of years as they'll continue to close the gap. Getting into the bottom half of the bracket, man. Northwood Lena.
Northwood Lena, we want to,
man. Go ahead and lead us off there.
listen. We saw Coach Coop in the comments earlier, man, and when we were talking about Douglas, and he said they're back-to-back state champion. I put the question to him too. He's yet to answer the question. And I put him on record last night as well. And I'm going to put him on record here, Coop. We need to know, are you claiming three-peat? That's the question. They're going for a three-peat. Man, Northwood Lena, they took their lumps early. Shout out to Coach Cooper, both of them, for doing a great job. Of course, when they scheduled the way they're scheduled this past off season, they thought, we would have battles and we would have Johnson. Johnson goes down with an ACL tear in practice, and so they took their lumps early, but they've righted the ship, and here they are, the 2 seed, and I think they'll be. I'm favoring them to get back to play Southern Lab rematch from last year. Uh, who's gonna be uh, Southern Lab getting the state title or Northwood and Lena repeating and going three-peat?
Yeah, I mean, like shout out to like this comment here with Southern Lab. I mean, Southern Lab has also had like both these teams have had top kids get injured, unfortunately, right? If not their best player, arguably what they need as far as a team. And it's lost players. Both teams lost players to transfers. Like it's tough, man. It's tough, and it's a credit to both these programs that both these teams have played anybody, anywhere, anytime, any day. Doesn't matter, and that's why they're the top two teams in the division and have been the top two teams. When you're looking at Northwood Lena, how crazy is it that they're the underdog for the first state championship? They're the underdog for their second state championship, and now they can
And they'll be
still
the.
continue to play the underdog role the whole way. Like it's so
I,
uncommon. It reminds me of like the Chiefs this year. How are the Chiefs the defending freaking Super Bowl champions, and they can rally the team around being the underdog? Right? It's a really easy sell, man. Whenever you're
right.
the coach and you're like, man, all these guys are rooting against us. It's why whatever. And you're the defending state champs, right? Until 12 days from now. Like Northwood Lena
Right.
is your state champion until 12 days from now, where they will continue to be state champion for another year, or someone will knock them off and someone else will be state champion. But with
And listen,
respect, like we talked about, like you got to still continue to give these programs, all these programs, respect, man. It's just crazy to me that you can play the underdog role and still be going for a three-peat.
man. I want to elaborate what you said. I don't think Coach Cooper Darius. I don't think he would want it any other way. I think he wants them to be the underdog. Just think about what they've done with that program. How when they took it over, it was ashes, right? And they have built it into a state contender every year after year. So shout out to what they got in there, did the dirty work. You got to give them credit, those two, the Coopers. Man, hats out to them. Whichever way it goes this year, whether they state runners up, whether they state champions, whether they get knocked off in the semifinals, man, I've done a good job considering, like I said earlier, they made a schedule thinking they're going to have one of the best 2025s in the state. And she goes down with an injury. They have made no excuses by all means, made no excuses, took their L's early, and they're still right in the thick of things in this division. So shout out to them.
Yep. And there's a great comment here. Sacred Heart can get there as well. I mean, Sacred Heart's on an 8-game win streak. They definitely can and have the ability to be that fourth guy to the dance, right? I mean, it's gonna be the three-headed monster, and then who's gonna be the fourth guy to the dance, in my opinion. It's gonna be fun to keep an eye on, and I think this is gonna be a conversation that we'll continue to have as we see a lot of the comments going on through the comments there. But the offer that Hobson got was to Nisho Community College. Any college coaches that are watching, man, I'll put my name on Hobson, man. She's kicking flat out hoop. She can definitely deserves an opportunity to play at the next level. Let's jump into Division 5. Let's go ahead and do this, like save the best for last, like we always do. Division 5 select. You want to start us off?
Oak Hill. Oak Hill has been rocking and rolling this year. She's another coach that didn't back down from any smoke whatsoever. And that's, man, I tip my hat to any coach that loves to challenge their team, and to say that, hey, we're gonna either get banged up or we're gonna find out what we're really made of. And so she's challenged her team. I think by far she may be one of the best teams in this division. It's a small division, and I think she should be rolling. With the bye there, they don't start. You got Oak Hill. Playoffs started last Thursday,
Yep.
and the second round is tomorrow. but Oak Hill does not play until
Thursday.
Thursday. So it's probably the toughest part of this, probably for coach, is trying to keep her kids engaged and finding things to keep them in the rhythm that they may have been before this 2 week layoff. Because by the time they played their last game, man, it'll have been 13 days. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to coach. However you're doing it, man. Heads up and keep your kids engaged.
Absolutely, man. That's a good comment, man. Something that you don't think about, like we talk about with these teams having this long layoff. Like you can technically schedule another game too. We've seen that in the past. You got Family Christian and Family Community. They could have played their game earlier, but they're gonna wait till the 22nd to play. So you got a bunch of teams here sitting around waiting. Jazz Clark sitting around waiting. But I think we talked about it last time. I think there's only 3 teams that we feel can win a state championship in this division. Everyone's trying to catch Oak Hill, of course. Oak Hill's done a great job of setting the bar of what it takes to win this division. But then you got Family Christian and J.S. Clark. So whoever's going to come out of that one, I don't think they'll just walk away. I think whoever wins that game will obviously walk away with at least the second place trophy, the runner-up. But I do think whoever does win that game will have an opportunity to dethrone Oak Hill. It's going to be a dogfight between J.S. Clark with Taylor and Family Christian with Rochelle and everything that they have going on. 2 heady point guards going at it, 2 forwards going at it. It's just a real key matchup there. Family Christian has, I think, in my opinion, the advantage on the inside between the 2 bigs that they have there. Family Christian has played an extremely tough schedule. And then J.S. Clark, probably has a little advantage of the guard play. So that's where it's going to come back to. Guards win games. It's going to be fun, man. That's going to be a really good semifinal game, in my opinion. Probably the best game as far as matchup that we'll have in this division. Whoever does win will unfortunately draw Oak Hill. Oak Hill's going to kind of cruise, I think, through this way. But it's going to be fun. I think this division is going to be a lot more fun than it has been in the past. But, again, it's the same 3 teams, man. For the last 3 years, it's been Oak Hill, Family Christian, and J.S. Clark. So it's going to be them again. Got anything else you want to add there?
Nah,
Shout
we're
out
good on
to
that one.
Christian, like we talked about. A lot of people talking about them in the comments now, man. Hamilton Christian is going to be a team that will have an opportunity. Do not sleep on Hamilton Christian in that other division we talked about. All right, best for last, man. Division 5. Does this sit here? Let's see. Division 5, non-select, man. We're going to need some help from the comments section for sure. When I tell you, if your team jumps out of the playoffs and you're looking for a game to go to, please, the first bracket I want you to look at is Division 5 non-select quarterfinal matchups. The gym is going to be rocking. Like, line outside the building, wrapped around. If they do sell tickets early, you might want to go ahead and buy one then, because you may or may not get in. That's how these games are going to go. Whenever you merge this B and C together, this division has flat out jumped off the charts. B and C basketball has always been really good. Whenever you merge them together, it's been phenomenal. And you see that with all these matchups all the way through. From the regional games on, you got some great matchups here lined up. You want to go ahead and get the starters off, man? What are you looking forward to right here?
Man, looking forward to in my neck of the woods, the Gibbsland Coleman and the Bell City matchup. Gibbsland looks like Coach Housley has gotten this team to just settle down this year. At first, they were struggling a little bit. Their top guard was out as well for a length time. I don't know if she came back, but it looks like they finally got it rolling. They're going to be a tough out for anybody if she's playing. She's going to be that's going to be a tough off. But Hicks is going to be Hicks. They've done an outstanding job. Coach came in her first year there here. They got some transfer in and put with those 2 pieces that they've had. from the previous year who are battle tested, who's won state titles with the former coach, and now they've bought into what the new coach is rocking and rolling. And man, don't get it twisted, and we got to keep it in mind. Hicks at one point won 20 straight games, and and I think Anacoco was the one that knocked them off. But that
That's right.
it goes to a testament of what you were saying about these small schools and their environment. And as we say all the time, and when we talk about these teams, if you're not in the gas station, you're not in the local grocery store by 3 o'clock, you're not getting anything the rest of the day if there's a game in town, because they're gonna shut everything down. These communities support girls basketball, they support boys basketball in that area, and basketball period. So it's gonna be great.
Absolutely. Shout out Jada Richard. Is that her dunking on the
That's her. That's her.
Facebook picture?
That's her.
That's too funny. That's too funny, man. I mean, the games that and I mean, again, guys, this is where we really lean on the comment section more than anything. With the coverage of BC, and like when we talk about the way we've kind of designed this platform and this show, man, is to kind of lean on you guys, to really lean on you guys with the feedback and to help us all continue to grow girls basketball as a whole. But someone had talked about it already with Midland going to state, man. I really like Midland's draw, man. I love their draw here. I like what they've been doing over the past couple years and continuing to grow the girls' game over there, continuing to make strides in the right direction. I'm really rooting for them. The Greeks not a easy draw by any stretch of imagination. And then you're gonna have a quarterfinal game at home. Hopefully, they can kind of get over that hump and get into that top 28 game. But I just love their draw, mostly that they were able to avoid Fairview. Right, being able to avoid Fairview is huge in my opinion. Another little matchup that I do like seeing here is Hathaway. If they can get by Hornbeck, which is not going to be easy either, they'll take on Fairview, which was a rematch of last year's state championship game. So I think Fairview has a good draw, right, along the way. Again, a redo. You get an opportunity. The team that beat you and knocked you out last year, a team that knocked you out last year in Hathaway, you get an opportunity to beat them at your place in the quarterfinals. Hathaway traveling to Fairview in the quarterfinal game. How crazy is that going to be, man? That's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. That's going to be a great game. And Coco, we talked about it already. They have what it takes to defeat Hicks. They did beat Hicks. So, and Coco is a team that I could see winning a championship. I think this is the division where I could see Hicks winning, Midland, Anacoco, Fairview. That's 4 different teams. Coleman, I don't think Coleman has enough. Castor, you think Castor probably doesn't have enough this year, huh?
No, I don't think they have enough this year.
Yeah, so it's about 4 or 5 teams. Hathaway, if they can kind of figure things out, they definitely, with the point guard and the shooting, they definitely have enough if they can somehow find a way to win at Fairview. Realistically, how many points are you down whenever you go into Fairview at the quarterfinal game? Like, how many points are you already? You got to be down at least 15. Like, just having to travel into the quarterfinal game. What's some other intriguing matchups that you're looking at? Bell City versus Gibson Coleman. I can see Bell City winning that game. Going on the road. Any
Yeah,
other
well,
upsets you see?
nah, not really, man. I think it's gonna be good either way around. All these games are gonna be close, so they can all go either way.
Trying to catch up on the comments right here, man. This is definitely one of our most exciting divisions. With a lot of people that do follow girls basketball there. The Phoenix story is I'm so glad that they are able to sneak out a win there, man. But not having one of their best players, losing her to an injury, that's just gonna be so tough for them to go on the road and win there. Hathaway is your defending state champs. It's just a tough draw, man, where you got to turn around and go on the road to Fairview in the next round. Picking would be the one I want to see. Picking, and who do you think is going to win that game? Picking versus Simpson. That is going to be fun.
I would go Simpson.
That's going to be a fun one for sure. Picking and Simpkin, that's not an easy draw there in the quarterfinals for Hicks, man. That's I would say Picking or Simpson could give Hicks a run for their money. What's the comments there below as well? What do y'all think about that? Could the winner out of Simpson or Pickens find a way to out Hicks in the quarterfinal? That'd be terrible. Midland was go to State, definitely, and a Coco. Let's see. Trying to catch up on all the comments, make sure we don't miss any. Don't count out Phoenix. Definitely not counting out Phoenix. I just think that's a tough division. I mean tough draw. Let's see. Oh, Phoenix says she's back. See, somebody comment below. Let me know if young lady is back for Phoenix. I don't like really using names and stuff. Simpson Lady Broncos. And picking. I think that's about it then, man. Trying to catch up on all the comments. Make sure we don't leave anybody. I know a lot of people are always tuned in. Appreciate everybody that's been staying around for the BC commentary. This is, like I said, where we really rely a lot on you guys. Lady Bruins are definitely tough. Hicks versus Fairview, man. State championship. Would that be a fun one or what? Man, combine the BC, first round, like second round. Yeah, I agree with that statement. When you combine the BC, it's like it's a whole nother round. That's a great comment there by Tracy, man. Whenever first round feels like second round feels like quarterfinals. And then you get quarterfinal games that feel like semifinal games at home, man. I agree. Competitive is a complete understatement, man. Like I said, I'll say it again, man. If you are eliminated from the tournament and you're looking for a game to watch in the quarterfinals this Thursday, please open up the Division 5 non-select first and look for a game there, man. That is going to be somewhere to watch. The Blue will be cleared next week. All right, Samuels, congratulations, man. Big Five got some unfinished business this season. Definitely would be great to see her back on the court come the top 28 games. Hathaway's got some shooters. Shooters definitely win games. Let's see. All right, man. I think that's about covers it, man.
Yeah, it's a good show tonight, man. Good show. Thanks for everybody for chiming in on the comments, keeping the conversation going for us.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, we'll be live tomorrow at Ponchatoula versus Zachary. Safe travels to everyone, first and foremost. Safe travels to and safe travels from. Help us, man, continue to grow the platform. Send us some scores, updates. We'll be live on Facebook as well as YouTube, just like this. You guys can tune in and out with the games and post the scores. I'll be sharing those just like we are, even though we'll be in the game. But enjoy, man. What's your message, man, to the kids? The kids playing where they're in there getting ready for their second round matchup.
Man, leave it all out on the floor to the seniors. I always speak every year like we do this to the seniors. Could be your last game. Just leave your tank on empty. Don't come into it on Tuesday thinking, oh, I could have done a little bit more. Give it all this game because Tuesday's not promised for you and your team.
Yep, and like it's easy to say, but half the teams that play tomorrow will not be playing on Thursday, man. And then from there it goes down to even more. So the season, I guess what really sticks out to me, even if you make it to the end of the season for a state championship game, there's only 12 days left. So my message to everybody, man, there's only 12 days left of this season. Seems like yesterday we were just starting, doing summer league and everything else. But now we look at it, and you only have 12 days left. So enjoy these moments, enjoy these bus rides, enjoy the conversations with teammates and family and friends, and encourage as many people as you can to come to the game. When you're at school tomorrow, man, encourage people to come to the game, hype up your game as much as possible, because having that student-athlete experience is more important than anything. So the more people we can get to come to these games and continue to see that girls basketball is growing in the state, the better, man. So hype up your game tomorrow at school, man. Good luck to everybody. Safe travels, man. Like I said, there's only 12 days left, man. So until next time, we will tune back in either Wednesday or Tuesday, man, as we'll talk quarterfinal matchups, man. Good luck to y'all.
Playoffs.
Parkway. And safe travels, everybody, man. Playoffs.